Good afternoon, everybody.
Hello there.
Stephen, how are you doing? Some more success this week?
Yes. Just signed another set of buyers last evening.
Very exciting. What source or where'd they come from?
Wailopo.
Nice.
Finally above 400,000. God.
Nothing better than the entry market right now, right?
Oh,
You actually got a buyer out of an online lead platform? That's amazing.
I'm on 2 buyers in a row now out of the
From
lead.
Wailopo?
Yeah.
So Sean, Stephen is with the team that uses Follow Up Boss sync with Wailopo, like you and I were talking about.
Yeah, so I'm Boomtown right now. And
Okay.
I like the CRM, but I'm coming around to a year and have not been able to lock anything up,
Interesting.
and I've been working them pretty hard.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about going to Follow Up Boss Wailopo.
Yeah, maybe I should just go to Vegas though. Beginner's luck.
No such thing as beginner's luck. You know what's funny is when I started out in real estate, this was back when Zillow leads cost $16 a lead. Okay.
Oh,
in $600,000 price points. All right. This is when Trulia was around. And what's so funny is I was on a team and it took me like 2.5 years to get a cash offer lead. Like everybody on the team would be like, yeah, I got a cash deal. Lead came through cash. And I was just like, what is with my luck? Because I had high conversion, closed a lot of transactions, but I just couldn't get a cash buyer. It was, one of those. So that one, Sean, is luck. Conversion, skill.
Yeah. So you were looking for a unicorn.
There you go. There you go. Well, excited to see everybody today. I'll send out, in case you didn't get it, but on Tuesday, I'll send the recap from the Tuesdays and Thursdays for each week prior. Right now, what we're just doing is going through the level 1 performance. That there's a checklist. If you don't have it, I can send it to you again. And, I'm excited for today to close out real estate experience and market intelligence. Over the last week, we were talking about the buyer's consults. We were talking about the listing, process and making sure that we're set up with a good outline. And as we progress through the weeks, as we get closer into more of these specific lead sources to understand them better, Thursday, I'm excited because we're going to talk about unique selling propositions, right? And just, how do you create some value propositions for, speaking about your company, for your listing, when you start talking about your marketing, all these aspects of your business. But for today, I am really excited because I believe that this is one of the greatest challenges for most agents when it comes to just the small talk with their clients based off of, I don't want to talk about family. I don't really want to talk about work right now. I don't want to talk about what you did this weekend. Like, honestly, I want to figure out how to get more deals. Meaning, look, I'm making these calls because me and my coach are working on growing my performance, and I'm trying to get into real estate related conversations. Not saying that you're not loving and that, you don't want to continue following up with people, but sometimes it's like, gosh, between my family needing my love, between, my past clients, my current clients, like I got a lot of love out there. But as I look at my 90-day pipeline, I really just wish I could be in some more conversations with people regarding real estate. And a lot of it is our belief around the market or our knowledge to the past, present, and future beliefs we have of the market, or removing our beliefs and just being an interpreter of what the experts are saying about the market. So for today, I'm going to share my screen real quick. Let me know, thumbs up if you guys can see this. Give me a second here. Everybody can see that? All right, so this is Tom's new database script. He launched Prospecting Bootcamp last year, all right? He said, you know what? I think a lot of agents are struggling in this current market for the prospecting piece, meaning we're getting business the average sales price or volume has gone up a lot. So we're seeing a higher revenue, even if we're doing the same amount in 2020 as we did in 2021. But he said, we really got to start getting people in conversation about the next steps. So defining prospecting is just encouraging and caring for the growth of something or someone, right? So, hey, why do I prospect? Well, because I care about Sean's growth, and I'm going to prospect Sean to figure out what's next in his growth. If we're talking about business coaching, conversations there, but for all of us, to today's conversation, it's really about what are their steps or thoughts in real estate. So you can see where marketing or market intelligence would lead us to be more confident to make this call or not. So we'll dive into it real quick. What Tom's saying is that, hey, you know what? I want us talking about when we make a phone call, being a little bit more direct. Some of us, like Sean, I think about you, on your path to $1 million this year, is like, you got a large database. At a certain point, you're going, how the heck am I going to follow up with every person, like Tom's saying, once a quarter? Molly, your guys' database, you know what I mean? We're talking thousands of leads now based on the millions of dollars you guys have spent in marketing over the last couple of years. So now we start going, okay, you know what? I got to figure out, how am I going to be able to really support this kind of quarterly call? So then that way I can start figuring out where real estate is in these people's lives. So now, are they a lead, meaning they're going to lead to something in the next 90 days, next 6 months, next year? And so Tom is saying, here's our script right away. Hi, this is Molly. Hope you and your family are doing well. Do you have a quick minute? 90% of people, if you just say, do you have a quick minute? They're going to give you some absent answer of like, okay, sure, why not? Even if this is a complete stranger, but I'm really looking at just all of our databases, but also prospecting. Do you have a quick minute? He's saying, as you start looking at this, script number 1 right here, conversation starters for homeowners, is I was wondering if I could help you with any real estate questions you might have. So instead of, spending a lot of time with the family, the recreation, not that you're not going to do that, but that's great when you're doing like the quarterly events Tom talks about, or Sean, you're doing your monthly seminars. Like, these are the things where it's like, hey, we're together now, let's spend some time. But as your real estate expert and the world is kind of confused about what's happened in the market, this is why I make this call, Lacey, once a quarter, is to specifically ask you, right? Like, do you have any real estate related questions right now? And it's going to take us a couple of these calls to get people to start being like, you know what? Justin actually really cares. Like, he called me again, another quarter later. Hey, it's me again. Market's crazy. Just want you to know you can always count on me every 90 days for a quick call. Any other questions or thoughts you have about real estate right now that I could answer? And the nice part is, as you get accustomed to this, you'll see that next line there is, let's just say they don't really have anything going on. This is what he's talking about, is gathering intelligence to also use for your marketing. So Lacey, as you're out there doing, more of this, hey, I want to do more videos. As Sean, you're out there doing a lot more videos. Mark, you're starting to think about, how am I going to get out there and talk about things more? This is your answer right here. They say the best marketers go right to your customer and get a survey done. What do they want? What are they looking to experience? What are their struggles? And so Tom's saying, well, gosh, if they say, you know what, I don't really have any questions right now, well, let's still talk real estate. So Sean, not a problem at all. I'll call you next quarter if you have any questions, but there's some interesting things going on in the real estate market these days. What have you been hearing from friends or seeing in the media? And now Sean is going to share with me what he thinks about the real estate market. So Sean, if I was asking you that, let's just role play real quick. What have you been hearing from friends or seeing in the media?
Well, everybody's telling me that it's actually getting worse than it was 6 months ago. People are still waiving all their inspections and offering way over asking price and all those good things.
You know what? Thanks for sharing that. I mean, as a homeowner, as a renter, I mean, how does that make you feel? I mean, when you hear that, what does it make you think?
Well, for me, I'm not planning on selling, but I like the idea that I'm building a lot of equity.
Okay. So here's the nice part. Now I can kind of move on, right? Like, Sean, it doesn't matter to him. He's not thinking about selling. So as you're kind of prospecting or you're advising your teams on how to make these calls, Lacey, like we were talking about, can somebody else make this quarterly follow-up call with my client to see, hey, do they need Lacey? I'm really busy, but you're getting a call from my ops manager or somebody that's assisting me and saying, like, do you have any real estate questions for me? If they do, now they can pass that to you. You got a great follow-up call to make. And now we're still getting through this quarterly touch base. But the reason why I bring this up is you could see in a very quick, short period of time, I can now make some notes in my database with Sean. And I noticed that he had no intent in selling, which was great to kind of find out, but he's excited about the equity that's happening. So now I got exciting news if I ever need to call Sean. Sean, did you hear about the last quarter? No, what happened? Probably went up about 4.5%. So based on your current home value, shoot, you know what? I haven't done your annual home equity check-in, have I?
Right. Not yet,
Well,
Justin. I've been waiting for it.
I apologize. I've been busy. And how cool would that be? I know we're role playing guys, but like, that is what it, like, you're right. Where's my annual, like you do this every year, Mark. I get your thank you card. I get your Christmas card. Like, shoot, I was wondering what's going on with this annual check-in. So some of this is building the systems and processes in your business. It's a little bit more boring, right? It's just repetition, consistency, but hopefully this script helps you better understand that if you're nervous about talking about the market for any reason, what I mean by this is you're not listening to it every single day, week, month in different levels for a couple minutes or 30 minutes or an hour on a monthly basis. That might be why it's tough to talk about the market, but we know the market is where the drama is. The market is where conversations start. And then with that drama is, well, then what does that, I mean, why is it bothering you so much, Mark? Well, you know what? We were thinking about, selling this home and potentially buying. And now all of a sudden you've discovered a potential lead if you can solve a problem. So I'm going to back out of this one here real quick and stop sharing it to get into the performance levels that Tom's talking about and what exactly is it, you know what I mean, that we can be reviewing. And I'll share with you some slides. So he said, identify resources for gathering relevant market knowledge and clearly summarizing as relevant to personality types. So on the call, I always love not only just sharing Tom's teachings, but us masterminding. So give me a couple of examples. Where are you guys getting your market information? So where are you finding this intelligence?
Keeping Current Matters.
Okay, awesome. So Lacey's got Keeping Current Matters. What else?
We have our Oregon Beacon reports.
Nice. Yep. Okay. Stephen, you have the Beacon report that Fred shares with you guys on the group Facebook page every day. So Beacon reports, if you're like, what's Beacon report? Just Google Beacon report, you know what I mean, for your state, and you'll start seeing. Okay. What else?
Doing my own
for
market.
us.
Say that, Sean.
Yeah, just doing my own market studies all over the place and all my data and what I'm seeing right in my local area.
Nice. Sean, where do you get it though? So, hey, here's my local area. I'm analyzing data. Where do you get that information?
So my MLS is great. I do a ton of markets analysis for clients all the time, buyers and sellers. And then we also have something called Info Sparks, which it's just live real-time data for what's going on, all kinds of indicators.
Yeah, Info Sparks is a great one. And most MLSs have adopted that. But again, purpose of the call today is going, I don't think I've ever looked at Info Sparks. Okay, it was worth being on the 20 minutes of the call today because you got somebody like Sean, top producer, 50 plus, 100 plus homes, growing his team, right? So you might ask like, hey, what are those people doing that are successful like that? There we go. Okay, Sean, were you going to say something? Or Mark, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I just, Bright MLS sends reports out, monthly and quarterly, and I use that data and then bring it down to tighter to my market area and use their information. It shows everything from showing time also has the same data.
Okay, I love it. What else? Anywhere else you guys are finding resources for gathering relevant market knowledge?
And also avoid the drama, which the market's going to crash just because there's going to be some interest rate hikes. You got to make sure not to take that stuff as gospel because it doesn't mean it's going to crash.
Yeah, I was reading something today, Sean, and it made me just hey, what message do I need to be sharing? Obviously, I just refer business out across the nation, right? But, you know, still want to message, still want to stay relevant. And obviously as a coach, important, you know what I mean, to be up to date on what's happening is okay. So they were saying that if they jumped up a quarter, for a lot of people, it's like $100 more a month. Okay. But guess what? You've made about $4,000 a month in the $40,000 of appreciation with double-digit appreciation over the last 12 months. So how do I take this message of correlating? You're right. It's $100 more a month, but let's take it into context. You've been making $4,000 a month over the last year. Oh, I guess you're right. So then what's the opportunity cost? $100. How many years is it going to take for you to get the 40,000? So you're actually leveraging money for a new goal versus feeling like, hey, it's costing me more. Not necessarily. And most people are leveraging equity for everything they do, right? HELOCs, leveling up, all these different things. So let's keep reminding people of that. I love it, Sean. So I'll share a couple here real quick, okay, just in case you guys didn't know about these. But as I share my screen here, you got, this is called Neighborhood Scout. Neighborhood Scout is probably one of the most analytical reports that you can get for any specific home and its individual neighborhood, okay? Now, as you start going into some other things and places, can you guys still see my screen here, MBS Highway? Okay, awesome. MBS Highway, Barry Habib. You've probably heard Bill Pipes talk about Barry Habib. If you don't follow Barry Habib, he's one of the smartest and top loan originators across the nation for the last 30 plus years. Just a great educator. Okay, he's got something called MBS Highway. Now, this is like $100 a month, but what's kind of cool is they have like a social studio. So you could do like a teleprompter for your recordings. Like, hey, here's what it is. Every morning, he's got his morning updates. This is stuff like the jobs report. All right. Builder costs. Like we're talking some like real knowledge about what's happening in certain sectors in the market. He's got an entire real estate section. So just some really good stuff that Barry Habib puts out there. Like you're saying, Lacey, we've got Keeping Current Matters specifically for the national information, right? So Keeping Current Matters allows you to take kind of the macro approach. Here's what's happening in the nation. So that way, look, you guys know your local markets. Like, man, some of your local markets are way better than national averages for the 30 years running. You go, hey, national average for 30 years in the nation's been like 3.2%. Here in blank state, we're averaging 7% over the last 30 years. So let's even take what the nation is saying and relate that to most likely what we could expect here locally. So now people start feeling a bit better because if we know the country's doing well, you know what I mean? We feel a little bit better about our local markets because we're more familiar with them, okay? Couple other local things. So this is Altos data. If you've never looked at Altos data, it's pretty cool. So this comes from an escrow title officer, but here's like a zip code and it basically has all this information. Median list price, 1.9. Median price of new listings, 975. But here's our average per square foot cost. So you're going in for a listing presentation, talking about square foot versus like this large price, kind of bringing something that appraisers use to appraise value, right? Average days on market, 101. So this is kind of nice to go, hey, here's some market intelligence for your area. On average right now, it's taking about 101 days for these homes to sell. Somebody else give me their zip code.
19335.
Say that again.
19335.
Downington?
Yep.
Okay, so now here's the nice part is that this, I get free from a title person. So again, leveraging your partners, but talking about this is Altos data. Altos data is great market information. They do a lot of reports on YouTube too. Okay, so here you go, Mark, in your zip code, median list price, 575, average price per square foot, about 225. So we just kind of figure out where are we pricing this based off appraised value above grade square foot, right? Okay, average days on market, 199. Now, I don't know if that's really accurate. That seems pretty dang high. So we got to figure this part out. What is it taking into account? Okay.
They may be taking into account new construction. And so they put one listing up, it sits there for 6-8 months and they've sold, 40, 50 homes out of it.
100%, right? So you're right. We got a lot of new construction. This one looks about right. Just if we took the entire city of Denver, average days on market about 58. You know what I mean? That's about right for all the homes. Now we know there's different markets and neighborhoods, right? So as you guys are,
85022.
what's that?
85022.
Phoenix.
Yep.
So sellers market 80, average days on median days on market 35. Now, again, this is taking the worst, you know what I mean, to the best, right? And we all kind of know different price points and things that we have, but there you go. Median list 494, average square foot 287. But again, you're showing where's, you know, just the data. So important as we just kind of look at what are you guys getting for your local information. Here's some stuff from like title companies. Are they getting you as close to something like this, right? Where here's the showing trend traffic. So you're listing a property, you're talking to people, hey, on average, here's what we're seeing with showings is we're going from, you know, gosh, here's why April to July sucks so much. Wow, we saw a huge showing traffic dip in this local market here. Now, what are we starting to see in September, October, as we start pulling out November, December, January? We're going to start seeing that this was really a big U, and now we're right back to kind of a spring season, like Sean was saying, in January. So the important part with this is just making sure that we have more tools and resources. Hopefully gave you a couple more to share with you guys when it comes to just, okay, what are some of the other tools, resources, and options out there? Now, Remine, Cloud CMA, have any of you guys worked with those in your MLS? Okay, Molly, what have you used that for?
So the team and I use Cloud CMA just for an extra CMA platform. We do also use the MLS and we use our Beacon reports, but Cloud CMA to kind of make it look pretty.
Yeah.
Is
And
anybody
simple.
using HomeBot? Aren't they sort of this too?
Hmm.
HomeBot?
Yep. Sean, HomeBot and Home IQ are two as well, okay? We'll talk about this, how to bring some of those tools into your database marketing here over the next couple weeks. Today was just to make sure that you got a kind of good, like, you know what, you're right. I need to go get some more local information for my escrow officer because I don't have enough. And what I mean by that is like even hyper local information when it comes to some of yours. Let me just share real quick here. Okay, things like if we jumped into your quarterly trends reports, right? So like, is my escrow team letting me know like information? Here you go. What is the average months of inventory for the 1,000 square foot homes, the 15 square foot homes, the like, because you could see it's a little different, right? Like half a month of inventory if I'm under 1,800, but 3,000 plus, I'm at a full month. Well, that's an extra 2 weeks on market. Like that's a big difference for somebody to clearly understand the averages or what's happening when we start looking at, you know, rent price ratios and things of that such. Just again, I'm showing you an example so that way you can go talk to your partner and say, hey, I need more information because I saw some stuff in other places that's giving me a lot more for what we really want to use this information for, which is when you think about it, buyer's consults, listing consults, these phone calls talking about the market, giving you more time to be able to spend talking to them about it. So the part to kind of close with that Tom was talking about was, you know, he said identifying non-real estate areas. So who on the call like does some good stuff that's not data or market, but local community? Steven, I know Ron does a lot of the taco shops, right? Like just he's building out a lot. Ronnie White on your team does a lot of like a taco club of the week, and he's just always going to different taco joints around Tempe. So like who else is doing some stuff when it comes to what Tom was talking about, more community knowledge or stuff of that such? Sean, go ahead and share.
I do that seller class. It's prepare your home to sell, tips from the pros. So that's a class we do in about 5 different school districts, and we've developed the class over the past like 5 or 6 years. They advertise it for us because they blast it all over their community like website and their brochures, and so we get anywhere from 5 to 25 attendees every time we teach a class in the community, and it's free. It's free. So
Yeah. So Sean is somebody that you guys could definitely connect with. He is really taking these seminars to educate.
workshops,
Sorry,
Work-
thank you. Yeah. He's
seller
like,
work.
Coach, man, seminars sound, way better. All right. These workshops. And I mean, it's an awesome, awesome business for his database, his leads, everybody to continue to educate. But the nice part is you take something like Neighborhood Scout and you can scout an entire area for the school information. So when you think about like what other things with community, think of it like Sean was just saying, schools, colleges, recreation, restaurants, just what else are you doing that you're an expert of knowing? Mark, I know you know this, like planning and development, like what's coming to an area that might not be real estate market intelligence, but it's still market intelligence related to community that people want to know about.
Yeah, I read, or I look up, so we're townships in Pennsylvania, which is a little bit, not county, which is a little different. So, like our county has 67 townships or boroughs or whatever. So, certain market area, I just look up the minutes from, the planning commissions that most of them all post, planning commissions and, supervisors or council meetings.
Yeah.
And they'll have a list of developments. And I usually try to catch them when they're in a sketch plan. And then I'm able to kind of follow it through later on. And out here, I mean, I know some parts of the country takes a long time. We're about, for a small little 4 or 5 lot, it may be 18 to 20 months before it comes to fruition. A larger one may take 20 years.
Yep.
So it's, and I know in California, that's 25 years, so it's a little crazy, but
Yep.
So I follow that all the time. We've had different things not make it. A big Toll Brothers development, they're temporarily stopped because of the battlefield nearby from the Revolutionary War, and people came out in droves, hundreds of people for the meetings, and they stopped it, and that's still going on. Our county is almost 30% open space, so people just push for it. I mean,
Yeah.
dedicated open space. So it's a fight, but I follow all those because sometimes they're either flipping it, they may sell it, or they will sometimes they'll look for somebody to market it, but most of the time they're either going to sell it off or we're just ahead of it with the big guys doing the 50. And again, here, 50 or 60 lot development is large, 200 is very big. Unlike other parts of the country that I work, like Virginia, they'll do 5,000 units. I mean, here that would be impossible in Pennsylvania. So, but local, if you get the foot in the door and call the builder a lot of times, or the regional guy, you get information ahead of time. You're able to share that with your clients.
There you go.
So
Yep.
you are the expert in the market of new construction of what's going on.
I love it. And that's kind of what Tom's talking about, is just the builders, even the coming soon, just following your coming soon on MLS and always sharing that. Did you know this home's coming soon on the market? Like, these are things that they don't necessarily always have access or information to. But then the last part is just the question of, are you familiar with what's happened in the market, or tell me what you're hearing, is what Tom talks about, to be relevant in our conversations, and then getting into more of this type of information. So want to respect you guys' time. Hopefully a half hour of like, okay, cool, I got to figure out a couple more things, some more market intelligence to put pieces together. But look forward to Thursday. We're going to do the unique selling proposition. So just, hey, here's my company. How do I structure unique value proposition so I can teach my team how to sell? I can sell it and go from there. But have an amazing day and look forward to seeing you guys this week. See ya.
Thank you.
Later, Justin.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you. See ya.